fund to break up large, failing financial companies. Here now with congressional reaction, House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer. It's great to see you, Leader Hoyer.
Good to be with you. Thanks.
And we have Governor Corzine, Governor, Senator,
morning, Steny.
CEO Corzine.
Good morning, John. Good to be with you, too.
Good to see you again.
Can you give us your side's take on this drama over the past week? You know, we're out here watching this stuff, and it just, you know, after health care, now this, it's not pretty. It's more sausage, and it's just not made in a pretty way.
Well, that's probably always been the case with respect to legislation, as has been observed. But I think what you saw happening here is the Republicans, of course, when we passed the Wall Street reform bill through the House of Representatives, unanimously opposed it. But what has happened is the American public, two-thirds of the American public, believes, in effect, that we need to put the referee on the field. We need to make sure that those folks who have caused us extraordinarily financial loss in this country, have put millions of people out of work, and cost the taxpayers a lot of money, which hopefully most of which we're going to get back. But notwithstanding that, we need to put the referee back on the field. The American public believes that. The senators on the Republican side have been prohibiting the so-called greatest deliberative body from deliberating on this issue. And now they've decided, because in my opinion a number of their members were about to break ranks because they understood the public believed we ought to move forward on this legislation, the Republicans have now decided to move forward and allow consideration of the bill. We'll see what happens during the course of the debate, but I think we're going to pass this piece of legislation through the Senate. We'll have a conference report. We'll come out with a strong bill that makes sure that consumers are protected and that we regulate the financial industry so that we don't again face this crisis that required us to step in.
Do you think, Leader Hoyer, there was any linkage between health care and sort of the obstinacy that we saw over the last week? Because you remember once Scott Brown was elected and you lost the supermajority, Republicans thought they had some power to maybe do something about health care, and then you sort of circumvented needing 60 votes. Now you are stuck with 59, so they can stop this if they want.
Well, they could, but they would do it at their peril, and I think they knew that. George Voinovich, for instance, I think Senator Snowe, Senator Collins, other senators on the Republican side, I think we're feeling the heat from the public that said, look, we know that things went wrong. We know that the regulators said we don't need to oversee, and obviously we did, and therefore I think the Republicans were going to very soon lose that 41 votes. I think they knew that, and I think they decided to move forward.
They're still going to want to extract something and be able to claim that they got the bill they wanted.
Well, I certainly think that they're going to have their input. They're going to be offering amendments. That's the legislative process. I'm sure they'll have some ideas worth attention and have merit. It's interesting. One of the things that they say they got was the Obama administration's position with respect to the resolution fund being collected after the fact rather than before the fact. They tried to say that that was a bailout. Clearly it was not. As a matter of fact, it was just the opposite. It was a fund to make sure that we could put businesses in a considered way, least harmful way, out of business if they fell on the shoals. So that the Republicans are now saying what we got was Obama administration's position, that we will collect the funds after the fact, not before the fact. So I really think, honestly, what happened was they were about to lose a number of their members who said, look, the public wants to move forward. We've said that we'll hold with you for a while, but we're going to want to move forward as well with the public.
Go ahead, John.
First of all, you're watching a pro, a guy that actually knows how to get these things done as well as anybody ever does.
John,
and
thank you very much.
The fact is that he's probably described exactly what's going to happen better than anybody can verbalize it. There is no way you can stand in front of the need to see some kind of broad, robust reform. Yeah. And that's going to work its way through, and it's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. And I think the more that Steny has to do with working that conference committee, the more we'll end up seeing good results at the end of the day.
Leader, I was going to ask
thank you, John.
I was going to ask you another question, but I can't now because we don't have time. I'll just make a statement. I apologize for disparaging the House in the past versus the Senate on the way they behaved at some of these committee hearings. I now know that you guys have a lot more class actually in the House than maybe in the other.
Hey, I was a senator.
From your mouth to the listeners' words, amen.
All right, Leader Horner, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, coming up, ExxonMobil's on deck. We'll have the numbers as soon as they're released. And Wall Street